Today, I'm going to be making crumpets from the Unofficial Harry Potter Cookbook. This was sent to us from Georgianne. Thank you to Georgianne. Never have made crumpets in my life, but I absolutely love the flavor of them, so I hope this goes well. I would love to be able to make crumpets. You need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of active dry yeast. We bought the Fleischmann's. They have one in like a red and yellow package and one in the blue and yellow. We got the blue and yellow. This is instant yeast, fast acting is what it says. So there's your 1 teaspoon of dry yeast. Then you need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of whole milk, and a 1/4 stick or 2 tablespoons of butter melted. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your flour, sugar, yeast, and salt in a bowl, all your dry ingredients. And then you're going to add your butter and milk and whisk it again. To cover this, I have a lid, but if you don't have a lid for your bowl, just use plastic wrap. That's what we've used in the past for other things. Just cover it. It's gonna take probably like an hour and a half. It may be different because we're using the fast acting yeast. I'll let you know how long it is, but this is gonna double in size. So we're just gonna let it sit in a warm place for an hour and a half. So my batter has risen, and I'm just showing you, I'm getting ready right here. So what I need to do is I need to spray my crumpet rings. I'm gonna spray the inside of them with vegetable oil. So I'm gonna do that off camera because I'm gonna do it over the sink. But when I put them in here and back in this pan, they will have vegetable oil on them. I have 1/3 cup out because that's how much you're gonna put in each of the crumpet rings. You need some tongs, a knife for my butter. I'm going to use butter to grease my pan, and then I have a spatula. So let me grease my crumpet rings and I'll be right back. Okay, so I greased my crumpet rings, like I said, and I'm going to put some butter. There's not a certain amount of butter. Just put some butter in the center of your pan, and then let that melt. So now you want to take your 1/3 cup measuring cup and add that to each one of your crumpet rings. These, you're supposed to let them cook for 5 minutes and then you're supposed to remove the ring. So I'm gonna, there we go. And if some of them might not work exactly like they're supposed to, I added too much to them. Like this one's way too big, but that's okay. And now you're supposed to flip them over. You leave them in the pan an additional 5 minutes, and that's how they look on the bottom. Gonna take them out here. There we go. And then when you get ready to serve these, you actually want to put them in the toaster. So put it in the toaster. There we go. Harry is a goner. He just blew up his Aunt Marge, used magic illegally, and ran away from home. He'll be expelled for sure. When he sees Minister Fudge at the leaky cauldron, he's terrified. But instead of chewing him out, Fudge cordially invites him in for tea and crumpets. That is from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Chapter 3. Now, traditionally, you would have your crumpet with butter and jam, but I'm all out of jam right now. Yeah. So we're just going to have butter, and I have some syrup too. I wanted to try it with syrup. I know that's not traditional, but
I love the flavor. And also just a little butter.
Oh my
goodness. A little butter is really good on these.
You know what though? Jam.
A sweet.
Butter and jam. Oh my gosh. Guess what I'm going to be buying? Some jam.
These are really good. The flavor's excellent. The texture is good. And you could toast them as hard or soft or as crispy as you want on the outside. So if you don't want it quite so crispy, you could probably just take them out of the pan and eat them. If you like a little crispness on them, which is the traditional way of doing it, is toasting them and get a little crisp.
Oh, I love it out of the toaster. This is awesome. Oh my goodness.
It's really good.
That is unbelievable.
It kind of reminds you of it kind of is a slightly comparable to like a pancake, but it's not a pancake.
Right.
It's a different texture than a pancake, and the flavor is completely different. So it's made similar to a pancake, but the texture is a little fluffier.
Yes, and I have looked into, because I do like them so very much, I've looked into ordering them online. The problem is, like people that have ordered them from Amazon, is a lot of times by the time they get to them, they're molded.
Yeah.
Because they're traditional crumpets, so they're coming from the UK. They don't have a long shelf life at all. And they don't use, in the UK, they don't use the preservatives and stuff like that we do. So they are going to be moldy. I would make these again and again.
Yeah,
I think these are
absolutely
delicious. As far as you smell, you don't use very much yeast. Mm-hmm. So you smell it a little bit when you put it in the bowl to rise, but then the flavor, it's not like you're eating a yeast roll, like a dinner roll at Thanksgiving or something. No. It doesn't have that strong flavor.
Or even a slice of bread has more of a yeast flavor than these.
Right. This is just, how would you describe this to somebody who's never had one? I mean, it's flaky, it's light, but
it's kind of like a mixture
it's heavy.
Between a pancake, it's probably more closely related, honestly, to an English muffin. Except it's not as dense and dry as an English muffin. An English muffin's kind of tough. These are soft like a pancake.
You know what though? Yeah, I agree with you.
But flavor-wise, it's probably closer to an English muffin than anything.
But it is like a double layered pancake. It really is.
It's a little denser but fluffier than a pancake, if that makes any sense. So it's really good though.
It's terrific.
And they're super easy to make. You don't have to have crumpet rings, which is what we had. We actually bought them. But you could use this biscuit cutters. If you're over here in the United States, get biscuit cutters, the rings. You can get those. They work just as good.
These are the perfect size though.
They are.
They're the perfect size rings. So I think...
And you could use these for biscuit cutters if you wanted to.
You can. I think we paid $12. You get a package of 6, right? Yep. And for this recipe, you only use 4. We could have actually made one more. There's enough batter to make one more crumpet.
Well, and I could have used a bigger pan. We've got another pan that probably would have held at least 5, if not 6. So.
But usually, when you see somebody do a video of these, they usually are making 4 of these. So I think these are delicious. They turned out great.
Yeah, the only hard part about it is waiting around the hour and a half for it to rise.
Exactly. So if you're going to make these for like breakfast, I would just say do it, get your batter ready, and while you're making your coffee and stuff like that, be letting it rise during that time. And then by the time you're finished with your coffee, you'll be ready to start on your crumpets. I am back, and this is a different day. I made crumpets again. And the reason I made crumpets again is because I really wanted to try them with the preserves. Just so you know, they're easier. They're easier to make, of course, the second time than they were the first time. It's just really, you're throwing the ingredients into a bowl. The bad thing, the only negative is that you have to wait for them to rise, for your dough to rise. But then you're putting it in the pan, putting it in those crumpet rings, and 5 minutes on each side, and it's done. And so I'm just really impressed with how easy they are to make. And I doubt Rachel is watching this, but Rachel sent us these toaster tongs. These come in really handy, especially with crumpets, because crumpets they're down in the toaster. And so she sent us these bamboo toaster tongs, and they work perfect, because trust me, you would have to stick your finger down in the toaster if you didn't have something. So these are perfect. I like them for now. I like them for crumpets, but they're great for toaster strudels too, because toaster strudels, that pastry gets really hot. And so anyway, I had to try it with my preserves, brand new jar of preserves. And I think I did better this time when I made them on my sizes. So before I made some, you know, a lot bigger than they were probably supposed to be. This time, I think I really did good with the size. So, here we go. That's incredible. I love that. You could eat them without butter, but you don't want to. The butter, with that being so, it's not what I would consider flaky. It's just, it's dense, but like Kevin said yesterday, it's like a pancake. But it has a crispy shell, not only from frying it in the pan, but putting it in the toaster too. That's delicious. And I can't believe that I don't think on any of our trips to the UK we've had crumpets for breakfast. I don't think, and you know, we did a bus tour where we went through Scotland and stuff like that. And they may have had crumpets on the table. I don't remember. I don't think they did. I think they had toast. I remember them having toast. I think because that's easy to do. But I don't remember crumpets. Now, that's not to say they didn't have them. But this is wonderful. And I just want to stress to, especially Americans, how easy this is to do. Once you've done it one time and you get the hang of it, I did it with ease today. It was a no big deal at all. Like I said, the only major thing is you have to wait an hour and a half for your dough to rise. So just make them early. Honestly, I'm having them at lunch. So that's today, this is my lunch. I'll have 2 of these. And I made 4. I made 4 more. I could have made more, but I did make 4, so I'll have 2 later. They do not keep long. Just know that if you make them, in all honesty, I ate 2 for lunch. I'll probably eat the other 2 for dinner, because I'm going to want them as fresh as possible. And they are so easy to make that why not keep them going fresh? But I wanted to stress that to Americans, because a lot of Americans probably have never had crumpets. You really need to try them. It's a completely different experience than what you've had before. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.